Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we conclude our visit to Normandy, and in this last video we will show you several places to visit very close to Rouen.
And if you like our video, do not forget to like it, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when we upload a new video.
After several days touring the Normandy region, both the coast and the interior, after visiting Rouen, the capital of this pretty French region, we visited several nearby villages, beginning the tour in Lyons-la-Forêt, which is on the list of the most beautiful villages in France, combining pretty brick houses with half-timbered houses, like the Maison Benserade, birthplace of Isaac Benserade, poet of the court of King Louis XIV. This beautiful house is located on the Place Isaac Benserade, a small and beautiful triangular square surrounded by cafes and restaurants and beautifully adorned with flowers, in the center of which we find the covered market, which has presided over the square since the 14th century, and where a market is held 3 times a week. Interestingly, the village is built around a castle, which began as a defensive stronghold in 1060 by order of William the Conqueror, with his son later building the castle in the 12th century. Another curious fact is that most of the houses visible today were built between the 17th and 18th centuries due to a fire in 1590 that destroyed much of the village, so only a small number of houses predate the fire. From this period after the fire is the town hall, a brick building beautifully decorated with flowers and built in 1782. We continued our walk, delighting in the beauty of the pretty houses of Lyons-la-Forêt, and at the end of the Rue de la Hôtel de Ville, if we head towards the banks of the Vieux River, a short and pretty walk takes us to the Place des Vieux Moulin. We find the old Benedictine convent, originally a 16th century hunting lodge, which operated as a convent between 1706 and 1768, until the French Revolution, when it became a textile factory and later a glassworks. Circling the old castle mound, in a square where we find a monument to the dead of both world wars, we find another beautiful house called La Frienne, popularly known as the house of Maurice Ravel, where during several visits between 1911 and 1922, the famous musician composed several of his works. Having finished our visit to the beautiful village of Lyons-la-Forêt, we headed south to the banks of the Seine River with the intention of ending our visit to Normandy in Giverny, But first, we decided to stop in Vernon, a small town of about 25,000 inhabitants, where we will make a short stop by the banks of the Seine River. By the river, we find the Château de Tourelles, a small and charming medieval castle built at the end of the 12th century, used to protect the entrance via the old fortified bridge. And throughout its history, besides being a fortress, it has had various uses such as a mill or a prison during the French Revolution. Next to the castle, in the river, we find Le Vieux Moulin, the last survivor of the 6 wheat mills built on the pillars of the medieval bridge, operating until 1849, and which was an inspiration for artists like Claude Monet. It is situated on a medieval bridge, first mentioned in the 12th century, destroyed several times by floods of the Seine River, with a more modern bridge built in the 19th century, although it suffered damage again during the Prussian invasion and during the Second World War, leaving the bridge in its current state. From Vernon, we crossed the bank of the Seine River and headed very nearby, arriving at Giverny, which, as we said, will be the last place we visit in Normandy. From the parking lot and after crossing the road via an underground passage, we reached this small village, famous for the Impressionist painters and above all for Claude Monet, since for 43 years, between 1883 and 1922, it was the home of the celebrated Impressionist painter. Works by both Claude Monet and other renowned Impressionist painters like Renoir can be seen in the Museum of Impressionisms, a museum with modern architecture that contrasts harmoniously with the classic charm of Giverny, surrounded by French gardens that invite a bucolic stroll. Continuing our walk, we arrived at what is without a doubt one of the most famous and visited places in Giverny. We are referring to the house and gardens of Claude Monet, which we found closed at the time we visited Giverny. But according to the tourists we met who were able to do so, the visit is very much worth it. In the house where Claude Monet lived for 40 years, every room is a work of art in itself, with period furniture and objects that transport visitors to the time when Monet himself resided there, allowing one to enjoy the beauty of the house in places as diverse as the bedroom, the kitchen, or the dining room. And next to the house, we find impressive gardens, whose visit immerses you in Impressionism, allowing you to enjoy the water garden, the pond, the water lilies, or the famous Japanese bridge, which Monet painted up to 45 times. We changed the direction of our route to head to the church of Giverny, finding on both sides of the street several art galleries, or the old Hotel Bodhi, now converted into a restaurant, but formerly a hotel, where French and especially American artists spent long periods. We arrived at the Church of Saint Radegonde, a small medieval church with a curious octagonal bell tower. Next to the church is the cemetery, where we find the grave of 7 British aviators who, on a mission aboard a Lancaster bomber, were shot down on the night of June 7th to 8th, 1944, their plane crashing south of Giverny. But without a doubt, the most famous grave is that of Claude Monet and his family, decorated with flowers and objects left by admirers from all over the world, and next to which we conclude our visit to Giverny and Normandy, the French region we toured for several days, enjoying its monuments, traditions, and landscapes.